Hello, everyone. My name's Lulu Adeyemo, and I'm the Executive Director of the TechDiversity Foundation. Today, we're sitting down with Dr. Nandi Spry to understand what drew her to accept our invitation to facilitate the TechDiversity Academy that starts this September and what she hopes to bring to our cohort. From her broad work rehabilitating individuals with addiction at the 180TC to evaluating teacher workload initiatives across 419 New South Wales schools, she understands how to create systemic change that actually works. Dr. Spry's published research on how personal development programs enhance social connection and mobilize communities. This sits at the heart of what we're trying to achieve, helping leaders create genuine belonging in their teams. Welcome, Nandi, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Lily, again.
Again, a pleasure. Now, Nandi, I'm going to let you introduce yourself to our audience and provide a little insight into your background.
Yeah, sure. So I should start with acknowledging the First Nation people of the Eora Nation in which we stand, and I pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. I'm also an Indigenous African from the Lozi tribe in Zambia, and navigating life as a Indigenous Zambian, and I'm also half Australian. So my father's from Adelaide, and I guess for me, I carry a deep understanding of what it means to exist between cultures. So I have the strength of both worlds, and my perspective is both global and grounded. I also have a husband and three children. So he's Australian, and my three kids obviously are quarter Indigenous Zambian. So we have a full life here, but I definitely feel I bring a lived experience of not only complexity and resilience, but also cross-cultural fluency. I speak three languages, three local dialect languages, and then obviously English. And this really allows me to I guess, have this unspoken rule of engagement with cultures, because I went to an international school in Lusaka, and then grew up in Catherine in the Northern Territory, went to high school there with many First Nation kids and kids from the area. So it allows me to really help decode unconscious bias. It allows me to help with the rebuild of inclusive practices. And I feel like with the TechDiversity Academy, I feel like participants will really benefit not only from my academic and professional expertise, but also from a human lens of diversity. And that's a strength. It's a strength, and it's not a challenge to manage.
Well, I think you just answered about three of my questions.
Oh, really?
Which is fantastic. I was going to try and jump on
Okay.
there, Andy, and say I understand, like when you're talking about your mixed culture, cultural backgrounds.
Yeah.
I was trying to relate to it from the fact that I grew up in the UK but was adopted. And my adopted mother is English and my adopted father was Scottish. But then I was like, I can understand. And then you went on to say speaking three languages. I was like, okay, you've lost me. I don't think English, Scottish, and Australian count as three languages. But anyway, I just want to pick up on a few of the points that you made there. In particular, that cross-cultural experience that you have, and and the languages and the lived experiences around that, and you've touched on it a bit already, but how that navigation of all those different cultural contexts helps inform what that help inform our the participants of the academy. So if we can just kind of touch on that a bit more, that'd be really great.
Yeah, great. So I guess what drew me to the TechDiversity Academy is one, its deep commitment to systemic change within the tech sector. And I think I saw a unique opportunity to really translate my work, not only personally, but professionally in the education reform space. And then I've got the cultural safety lens. I think that really resonated with the core belief of the Tech Diversity Academy. But more than anything, um, equity is an incredible concept, because it helps to embed not only the level of leadership, but also to create safe, inclusive environments. And that always starts with inner work. And that's why I love what the Tech Diversity Academy is doing by creating these programs, because it's saying we are willing to do the inner work. And uh, with that, my experience of facilitation, I have a cert for in training, and I'm passionate about drawing that inner stuff, and that is what we want to see come out, and that level of leadership where you understand what it means to be creating safe, inclusive environments. I
Yeah.
don't know if that answers you, but yeah.
Yeah, and you've got so you the research, the DBA research on women's social connection, Nandi, and the current work, the work that you've done with the New South Wales Department of Education.
Yes.
Um, it's I think that also, if you can talk a little bit about that and how that's resonated with
Yeah.
you, and I think again how that will also lend itself to the facilitation.
Yeah, great. So, my research on women's social development and mobilization with communities really highlighted how programs rooted in personal development can spark both individual and collective transformation. And this is directly relevant to helping mid level managers cultivate inclusion. So, it's not just a checkbox, but it's actually an active, ongoing practice. So, I'll be bringing insights around cultural humility, cultural safety, and the power of narrative to foster empathy. When I worked with, and it's not only with the Department of Education, but I created a racial justice research model for a big um, tech company. And what I found actually with the findings was there was a desire for bits of connection. There was a desire to lean in and to understand what cultural inclusivity meant. But I guess the gap was what help me understand you.
Yeah.
you know
I was
um
going to say, explain that. Help me
yeah,
understand you.
yeah. Help me understand you. Well, as you can see, I am a multicultural person, and I come from different you know I come from an if you look at me, you don't
You're a
see.
melting pot. You're a
Yeah,
melting
I'm a
pot.
melting pot. Yes, I'm a melting pot. Yes. But at the core of everyone, right, is this idea of belonging. And so with managers, it's understanding that everyone wants to feel like they belong, especially in your organization, and everyone wants to feel like they're seen, that they're heard, that they're valued. And so, I guess for people from a multicultural lens, we can share insights of how to support that learning, so that your people feel that way, and they feel like I can come with my whole self and give my best, because this organization has leaned into understanding me.
I get it. I love it. I love it. And do you think, because I mean, we really are positioning this for mid managers, right? To
Yes.
help them, their teams, and therefore their organization be successful.
Yes.
Do you think there's a lack of understanding around the importance and significance of this concept of belonging within a business?
Yes, I do, especially when you're not exposed to other cultures generally. Uh, and at the same time, I understand how busy and overwhelmed mid level managers are. And I've seen it in my work, supporting teachers, in my board work, and even with people overcoming addictions. But the reality is, inclusivity doesn't just exist, okay, to make you a better leader. It makes your workplace more dynamic, innovative, and even resilient. And that's why I love the Tech Diversity Academy. And I actually have done the course. I did the course last year or the year before, and I got so much out of it too. And it's a
I
rare
was
chance.
hoping you were going to remember that, Nandi, and bring
Well,
that up.
I did, and I actually loved it. I was a participant as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the great thing about the academy is it's a rare chance for us to step out of our day to day, and we're not asking you to even do it during work hours. Where it's an evening session as well, but to step into this transformative space. And if you care about leading with purpose, and you want to create a culture where people can thrive, this is an investment not only in your own growth, but also the future of your team.
Yeah, brilliant. Now you've touched on this already. I mean, you've worked with teachers, helping them to reduce workload stress, overcoming addiction. You said already with the board work with 180TC. Now, for someone sitting on the fence about joining the September cohort, what would you say to them?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, if I was to look at my experience at the end of the program, I want to, I guess, leave participants with more than just strategies. I want them to be left with shifted mindsets, with this whole idea of having a growth mindset of wanting to learn. I want them to be leaders that will become more emotionally attuned, culturally more agile, and courageously inclusive. Having the courage, to step out, to get involved in uh, initiatives that help to educate yourself about, other people, not just people that are like you. And I want them to return to their organizations with greater self awareness, possibly tools to challenge inequity, and the confidence to make meaningful change. So it's not just about policy, but in our everyday interactions, my goal is for them to walk away, not just knowing more, but being more.
Yeah. So I mean, so if they, if you're not sure,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of reasons there, tangible reasons that should really, I hope, inspire the need to join the cohort
Yeah.
in September. I mean, naturally, honestly, feel very hugely passionate about the work that we're doing at TechDiversity. I've worked in the tech sector since the late 90s, where we didn't have the language then for diversity, equity, and inclusion. We just knew. I personally lived day to day, knowing that I was one of a few. I felt like I was, representing, a whole nation, because I didn't see people like me in the tech workforce,
Right.
be it female or person of color.
Yeah.
But so little did I know back then that I was advocating for the need for diversity, equity, and inclusion,
Incredible.
but didn't have that language. So I
Yeah.
guess the point there is we know that time isn't a change agent. We know in the 25 years we're still talking about this.
Yes.
So we programs like the TD Academy give people the tools, the language, and the understanding of
Yeah.
the value and benefit for this type of personal development. So Nandi, we're really excited to have you on board. I think given your experience, both as an educator,
Yeah.
your personal experience, and the fact that you've participated as well, so you understand the journey that the participants go through is invaluable. So I really want to, on behalf of TechDiversity, thank you for sharing your insights and passion today.
Thank you.
It's clear that the September cohort will be in exceptional hands. So for everybody, the TechDiversity Academy, it starts September the 1st. There's 3 transformational modules, weekly guidance from the incredible Nandi, real tools for real leadership challenges, endorsed by the Australian Computer Society. Now, spaces are limited. We're taking a select cohort of mid-level managers who are ready to lead differently. So think deeper and create genuine belonging in their organization. So we look forward to seeing you all there. Nandi, once again, thank you very much.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and I will see you September.
Yay. Thank you, everyone.